Hi and welcome to Flow Free Friday. Today's focus is upper back, shoulders and neck. Grab a pair of blocks, place them by the side of your mat and go ahead and come into child's pose. Bring your arms on either side of your body with your palms facing up. Very slowly, start to move your head from side to side, gently massaging your forehead on your mat. Breathing in through your nose and out through your nose as you slowly roll your head from side to side. Feel free to stay on one side a little bit longer if you need to, before slowly making your way over to the other side. And I see Rocco has decided to join me today for my practice. Come back to center and stay here for a couple of breaths, and then bring your arms to the front of your mat. Take an inhale and float your right arm up, and exhale, slowly lower it back down. Do a couple more on each side, just starting to bring some awareness to the muscles of our back. Keeping your forehead planted as you do so. Just noticing if there's any difference from side to side. My sister's quite busy in the background there today. She's on vacation. Slowly make your way onto your hands and knees. Stacking your wrists underneath your shoulders, and you want your knees to be underneath your hips. Curling your toes under, getting a stretch along the bottom of your foot. Here we go. Inhale to bring your right fingertips up towards the ceiling. Exhale to reach your right arm all the way over to your left. You want to isolate this movement to your upper back. So you're really focusing on using your abdominal muscles, your obliques, to facilitate this twisting motion, keeping your hips and pelvis stable and your lower back in neutral. So don't worry about too much about how high you can bring your arm or how far you can twist. You just want to really feel this twist and this stretch happening in your mid-upper back. Reach all the way over to your left side. You can choose to plant your hand on the floor, or you can let it float, which I'll show you on the other side. Come back through center, inhale to reach up, and exhale to extend over to the other side. I can see and feel that my range of motion on my left side is not nearly as great as it is on my right. You may also notice some differences in your body. Do 5 reps, and on your last one, just reach as far over to your right as you can without allowing your lower back or pelvis to shift. Come back through center, and if on cue, Rocco comes back for cat pose. I want you to really focus on the roundness or the dome shape you can create with your spine in your cat pose today. Really push yourself away from your mat. Protract through your shoulder blades so you feel them separate, and pull your ribs in. I love how cat pose feels on my upper back. Start to bring a little bit of your own flavor into your cat-cow. Maybe shift your hips forward or back. It's kind of nice to shift forward a little bit beyond stacking your shoulders over your wrists so you can stretch your wrist out a little bit to prepare you for your practice. Move through your shoulder blade movements, elevating and depressing. So drawing them up to your shoulders and drawing them down, and just going through some shoulder rolls as you move around. Come back to center. Inhale as you extend your left leg out behind you. Exhale, bring your knee into your forehead. This is sunbird. As you're pushing strongly through the sole of your foot, you want to start thinking about reaching equally as strong through the front side of your body. So you really feel the stretch from the crown of your head all the way down to the sole of your foot. Bring your left leg out to the side, plant the foot, and come on up into a kneeling position. Inhale, reach your arms above you, interlace your fingers, release your index. Exhale, reach over to your left. Opening up the right side of your body. Breathe into the right side, into your right rib cage, stretching the muscles between your ribs. Inhale to make your way back through center. Exhale to release. Lift your leg back up and place your knee down. Inhale as you extend your right leg out behind you. Exhale, round your spine. Think cat pose and cow pose here, just adding hip extension. It's a great core exercise if you really focus on pulling your ribs in and really trying to get your forehead and knee to connect. Can also work your glutes quite strongly if you really think about squeezing them as you extend through your knee and your hip. Ultimately, you're in control of how much you feel or don't feel here. Bring your right foot out to the side. Be mindful of your kitty cat if he happens to be practicing with you today. Bring your arms all the way up. And this time, interlace your fingers the way that feels really weird in releasing your index fingers. Inhale to lift up out of the waist, side body super long, and exhale, reach over to your right. Relax through your shoulders. You can always choose to bring one hand down on the side of you and keep the other arm reaching up if this feels like it's too much for your shoulders. Slowly make your way back through center. Release, lift your leg up, bring it to the back of your mat, and come back to center. Take a moment here to reset in extended child's pose. Getting ready for a modified half series. On your next inhale, come forward into a kneeling plank. Shift forward ever so slightly and lower into your kneeling chaturanga. Inhale to push yourself back up to your plank, and exhale, sitting back, child's pose. Do a couple more of these. You can always feel free to do more or less, paying attention to your body and the messages that it's sending you. Lift your hips up and back. Find downward facing dog. Very slowly start to march it out here, alternating bending your knees as you push your heels down to your mat to enjoy a wonderful stretch. Slowly make your way to the top of your mat. Take an inhale and reverse swan dive all the way up to stand. And exhale, bring your hands to your heart, preparing for a chair flow with a lat pull down. Taking an inhale to reach up, exhale, bending through your knees, bending your elbows and bringing them down by your side. So imagine you're holding on to a pulley system, if you will, like if you're in the gym, and you're pulling the bar down and to feel the contraction of the muscles in your back. Keeping your ribs pulling in, inner thighs are actively drawing in towards each other, and the weight is in your heels as you sit back. Getting ready for sun salutations. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, hinge at your hips, fold. Inhale, stepping back with your right foot, choosing to place your knee down, or you can choose to have your knee up. I'm having my knee down today. And stepping back to child's pose or taking downward facing dog. Inhaling to come forward into your plank. Exhale, lower, passing through chaturanga. Inhaling, cobra pose. Exhaling into child's pose or downward facing dog. Your next inhale, bring your right foot to the top of your mat by your thumb, sweeping your arms up. Exhale, stepping forward into your forward fold. Feet are at hip width distance. Inhale to rise all the way up to stand. Exhale, sit back, chair. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, fold. Bending your knees as much as you need to. Stepping back with your left foot. Knee rests on your mat or it floats. Exhaling into down dog or child's pose. Inhaling full plank or knees down. Exhaling chaturanga. Inhaling up dog or take cobra pose. Exhale, child's pose or downward facing dog. Inhaling to step your left foot to the top of your mat, sweeping your arms up. Exhale to plant your palms and step forward into forward fold. Inhale, come all the way up to stand. Exhale, sit back, chair pose. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, fold. Inhale, stepping your right foot way to the back of your mat. Knee can stay down or your knee will float. Sweep your arms up out to the side. Draw your shoulders, your elbows back to each other as if you wanted them to touch. Plant your palms and step back into downward facing dog or child's pose. Shifting into plank, full or kneeling. Exhaling into chaturanga. Inhaling into your upward facing dog or cobra pose. Exhale as you find downward facing dog or child's pose. Inhaling to step your right foot to the top of your mat. Bending your elbows, draw them back towards each other, bring them to the front. Good. A little bit of a chest press type there, fly there. Step to the top of your mat. Slowly reach up and exhale, chair pose. Last time on the left side. Inhale, stand tall. Exhale, reach for your toes, folding your body in half. Inhale and step your left foot way to the back of your mat, making sure you're still at hip width distance. Draw your elbows way back towards each other. Plant your palms and step back, down dog or child's pose. Inhale, come into plank pose. Knees can be down here. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, coming into upward facing dog or fine cobra. Exhale, hips up and back, find downward facing dog or child's pose. Step your left foot to the top of your mat, plant your right knee. Arms up and out to the side. Bend your elbows, draw them back. Reach to the front and let your elbows touch. Draw them back one more time. And plant your palms and step forward into forward fold. Inhale to rise up. Exhale, sit back, chair. Inhale, reach up, look up. Exhale, bring your hands to your heart. Inhale, circle your arms around and up. Exhale, hinging at your hips. Fold your body in half. Inhale, flat back or monkey. And exhale, fold. Coming into a forward fold twist. Keeping your right leg straight, left knees bent. Take an inhale and sweep your right arm up to the ceiling, or you can place your right hand on the small of your back. Drawing your right shoulder blade back and reaching your left shoulder blade forward to deepen your twist. Bending both knees, sweeping your right hand down and slowly lifting up on the other side. So this time your left leg will remain straight as you bend through your right knee. Reaching your left fingertips up towards the ceiling. You might feel your hips want to get involved here. I want you to think about being heavy in your feet and just gently starting to create space between your right hip and your left shoulder. Come all the way through center, come into forward fold. Plant your palms and step back to plank pose. Feet are at hip width distance here, shoulders are stacking over your wrists. Hold your plank, squeeze your inner thighs towards each other, fire up your glutes, pull your ribs in, draw your feet to your hands and your hands to your feet. Take an inhale and exhale, push your hips up and back, downward facing dog. Inhale, right leg lifts to the ceiling. Exhale, place your right foot down by your thumb. And here comes Miko. Sweep your arms up, find crescent lunge or high lunge. Bring your elbows out to the side. Hold it here, pulling your right hip back, pulling your ribs in. Oh dear. Pop your back heel down, shorten your stance, preparing for warrior one. Press strongly into the outer edges of your left foot. Squeeze your inner thighs towards each other. Reach up strongly through your fingertips, side body, super long here. Breathe. Slowly straighten out through your right knee. Interlace your fingers behind you. Inhale, lift your heart up. Exhale, hinge at your hips. Leading with your heart, come into a forward fold here. Bringing your forehead towards your shin. Allow gravity to pull your arms all the way over your head, getting a wonderful stretch for your shoulders, while your hamstrings on your front leg is getting a major stretch, as well as the calf muscle on your back leg. Slowly come up to a flat back, reaching through your knuckles. Grab your block. Place your block on the outside of your right foot. Place your left hand on your block, making sure your wrist is still underneath your shoulder. Think of your block as an extension of your limb. Option to place your right hand on your lower back or sacrum, or you can reach your fingertips up to the ceiling, keeping your hips level and square. Feels much nicer for me today to have my hands supported here on my lower back and sacrum. Slowly release. Place your block off to the side. Okay, so Miko really gave me a hard time here. He did not make it easy to move him at all, as you can see. Oh my goodness. Then he snagged his claws into my bracelet. Yoga with cats. Step back to downward facing dog. We'll leave the vinyasa for after we do the other side. So inhaling, left leg lifts. Whoops. I kind of hit him there with my toe, so let's try to move him out of the way. So we're stepping our left foot to the top of our mat by our thumb and finding our crescent lunge once again. Good. Lifting up the inner thigh on your right side, squeezing your inner thighs towards each other. Draw your elbows back as if you wanted them to touch. Good. Shorten your stance and pop your back heel down. Toes are pointing slightly out to the long side of your mat. Think of a 45-degree angle here. Root down strongly through the baby toe side of your right foot. Lift your arms up. Super, super long side body. Ribs are in. Reach up. Maybe look up if it feels comfortable in your neck. Interlace your fingers behind you the weird and awkward way. Inhaling to lift your heart up. Exhale, hinge at your hips, keeping your hips square as much as possible here. Come into your forward bend. I love the shoulder stretch. It feels so, so, so good. You could always bend your elbows a little bit here. And you can have a teeny bend in the leg in front, just so you're not overextending through your knee. Slowly find your block and get ready for twisted triangle pose. So the block is on the outside of your left foot. Right hand is placed on your block. You can take your left hand and place it on your sacrum and come into your twist here. Keep thinking about bringing your right hip forward and your left butt cheek over to your right to keep your hips level and pelvis level. Notice how I have a little bit more range of motion here than I did when I was on my all fours. Slowly release. Place your block off to the side. Be mindful of your kitty and step back into downward facing dog, preparing for a vinyasa. Inhale, plank pose. Knees can be down, shifting forward slightly, lower into chaturanga. Pressing up and back. Downward facing dog. Whoops, I forgot up dog there. But you could always leave it out if you felt to. Just a little twist here. Legs a little bit wider than hip width, reaching to the outside edge of your shin or ankle. With your opposite hand, opposite shin or ankle, little twist. Inhale, right leg lifts. And step your right foot to the top of your mat. Spin your left heel around and down. Find warrior two. Left arm is reaching to the back of your mat. Right arm is reaching forward. And depending on how you're feeling today, you can always take a wider stance here and get a much deeper bend through your front leg. Turning your right palm to face up, bending through your elbow and reaching your hand behind you, turning your palm to the back and reaching your hand up to come into cow face arms. So it's a bit of a bind here. You can choose to use your towel if you have one handy. Your shirt is also a good option here. If you did have a strap handy, you could use your strap. Come back through your warrior two and coming into bound side angle. If bound side angle isn't part of your practice, you could always just come into a regular side angle with your forearm resting on your thigh and your left fingertips reaching up towards the ceiling. But if you are binding, again, you can use your strap or towel handy. Come back through warrior two, find 5-pointed star. Toes are pointing slightly in. Hands on your hips, lift your heart up and exhale, fold. Reach your left arm out in front of you and reach over to the outside of your left shin with your right hand. So really overstretched here a little bit. You can see that my hips aren't level, so you don't want that. You want to actually think about pulling, reaching more through to your left side, but also staying stable in the pelvis by pulling your left hip back. It really felt good on my back though. And walking to the back of your mat, planting your right palm down, dropping your hips, reaching your right fingertips up, coming in for a twisted low lunge. Plant both palms and step your left foot to the back of your mat. Find downward facing dog. Inhale, come forward into plank pose, knees down or up. Inhale, cobra or up dog. Exhale, find downward facing dog. Take a moment here, big breath in, big breath out. Inhale, left leg lifts. And exhale, step your left foot to the top of your mat. Spinning your right heel around and down. Find warrior two. Bye, Miko. Thanks for visiting. Preparing to come into our reverse warrior with our cow face arms. Now it's a bit difficult for me to bind here, so I'm going to opt to, I'll show you two options. You can choose to keep your hand, so your right hand, the back of your hand will be on your lower back, or you can inch it up towards your top hand or grab your shirt. Great options to help you get the stretch and opening through your shoulders if you don't have a strap handy. Release and coming into our bound side angle. Opening up your chest to the long side of your mat, drawing your shoulders back and down, lifting your heart up. And breathing deeply, staying strong in your legs. Slowly release, find 5-pointed star. Coming into our twist on the other side. Hands on your hips, inhale, lift your heart up. Exhaling as you hinge at your hips, come into your forward bend. This time we're extending the right arm out in front and reaching over to our right side with our left hand. A little bit better on this side here. My upper back, I have a lot of discomfort in my upper back from time to time. And this twist feels really, really, really good on my, in fact, any twist feels really great on my upper back. And pivoting on the heel and balls of the foot of the back foot, coming into your low lunge. Plant your left hand firmly underneath your left shoulder. Reach your right arm up and your fingers reach up to the ceiling. Hug your inner thighs into each other so that you don't lose the connection of your knee stacking over your heel. Plant your palm, step back, downward facing dog. If you have it in you, one more vinyasa here, shifting forward. Remember, you can always modify. I'm taking a modified version. Knees down, come into your cobra upward facing dog, and exhale, find downward facing dog. Take a few breaths in here, or you can choose to come into child's pose depending on how you're feeling. Maybe grab some water if you have it handy. Come all the way down. Just pause here for a moment in child's pose. Coming back to the breath. Slowly roll all the way up. Come into a comfortable seated position. Just trying to move Rocco out of the way, but he's biting me. Oh my goodness. He can be really, really cheeky when he's ready. So if sitting like this isn't comfortable for you, you can always sit cross-legged or have your legs out extended out in front of you. Place your hands on your shoulders. I want you to draw your elbows in towards each other, and then draw your elbows all the way to the back as if you wanted them to touch behind you. And continue to breathe deeply, in and out through your nose. Remembering to maintain a neutral spine here. So if you feel your rib cage is lifting and that is causing you to deepen the arch of your lower back, I want you to pull your ribs in. Good. Coming into a neck stretch, lower your right arm over to your right shoulder. You can reach your opposite hand away from you. And if you like how that felt, stay there. But if you want to get a little bit more happening here through your neck and shoulders, take your right hand and place the back of your hand into the small of your back. You can even think about drawing your shoulder blade back towards the middle of your spine to deepen this stretch. And then change sides when you're ready. Staying here for as long as you want to. Or if it doesn't feel good, remember, come out of it. This can be a pretty intense stretch for me, but it feels good. Slowly release. So we're coming into eagle arms. So this is an amazing upper back stretch. So if it's difficult to do the double wrap, you will just stay with your hands on your shoulders and make sure they're level. And then lift your elbows up. Nod your chin and just flex your upper back forward. I'll turn sideways so you can see how to do this. It's really easy to bring it into your lower back, but you want to isolate the forward flexion into your upper back only. So elbows are lifted, nod your chin, and just flex your upper back. Lower back stays in neutral. See, this is if you're getting into your lower back. This is staying in neutral. Now for me, I'm really feeling this in the space between my shoulder blades and my traps. And continue to lift your elbows up as you flex forward. It really feels great to me. Hopefully you enjoy it too. When you're ready, changing sides. So we had right arm underneath left. Now it would be left arm underneath your right, choosing to hold onto your shoulders, or come to the single wrap where the back of your hands touch, or the full wrap. It doesn't matter which one you choose. However, if you do choose to go for the full wrap, make sure that you're not allowing your wrists to flex. You want to keep your wrists long. Slowly release. Now we're coming into one of my absolute favorite. Uh-oh, Rocco's making this difficult to move him. But this is one of my favorite exercises here, or should I say poses. I would normally do this to stretch out my pecs. And it's really good to stretch the chest out here too, because that would also help alleviate tension. So come onto your stomach, legs will be at hip width distance, arms are out wide and at shoulder height with your palms facing down. So you're going to sweep your left foot back and think about reaching it towards your right hand. And when you do this, you are looking over to your left. So you want to switch your gaze to face the same direction of the leg that you are moving. Do this a few times, and then you're going to hold it on one side. This feels so good. There is no need to grab your foot. I realized that I could feel it and I just decided to grab it. So just stay here for a few breaths. Enjoy the stretch, enjoy the twist. You will feel this, or you might feel this from your belly all the way down to the top of your knee. It's an amazing stretch and twist all at the same time. And then change sides. So the last one we'll do today is this incredible twist. This to me is, this twist gets right into your mid upper back. It feels amazing for my back. I have extra kyphosis in my spine, so this is delicious for me. So on from your belly, bring your right knee out to the side for half frog pose. Rocco doesn't want me to put my hand near him. See how he kicked it away? And then you're going to work your, so you're bringing your right knee out to the side, and you're going to work your left arm all the way through over to your right until both of your shoulder blades are on your mat. And you want to come onto your hip a little bit here. Oh, wow, he's really biting me. You can support your knee with a block, or if you have a bolster, you can do that too. And you're looking in whichever direction is most comfortable for your neck. It feels good for me to have my elbows bent like cowboy surrender arms or goalpost arms, or cactus arms, if you will. If your shoulder blades, or if one of your shoulder blade is hanging or floating off of your mat, you can always support yourself with a rolled up towel or blanket if you have one handy. So sweeping your left knee out to the side for half frog and threading your right arm all the way through. So keep scooching over until you get both of your shoulder blades supported on your mat. You will be on your right hip, and again supporting your knee with your blocker, blanket, or bolster. Stay here for as long as you need. I have a feeling you will want to stay here for a really, really long time, and that's fine. This is your practice. From here, you can come onto your back, draw your knees into your chest. If there's any other stretch that your body might be asking you for before you head into Shavasana, perhaps you might try a bridge pose or maybe happy baby. The choice is yours. I'm just going to come onto my belly for a moment here. Make a pillow with my hands and place my forehead on the back of my hands. And just slowly shimmy my hips from side to side, and then windshield wiper my legs from side to side. Really, really nice and slow. But as I said, feel free to prepare for your Shavasana. Just taking a scan of your body, seeing what it needs. What is it asking you for here? And honoring that completely. I want to thank you guys for joining me again today. I hope you enjoyed the class and Rocco's appearance and Miko as well. Be free, be true, be you. Namaste. What am I going to do with this cat?